India, ladies and gentlemen, is a land of linguistic and cultural diversity. We pride ourselves in unity in diversity. Yet, this very multiplicity often sparks debates about the importance of learning different languages. The language debate is one such tussle that keeps on happening. In the latest, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has slammed Life Insurance Corporation of India, or LIC, for what he says is propaganda on part of the agency. In a post on social media platform X, Stalin has hit out at the LIC website for being a tool for Hindi imposition because it is in Hindi without any option of choosing English as a language. The Chief Minister said that this is nothing but cultural and language imposition by force, trampling on India's diversity. Now, the LIC has responded to M.K. Stalin's claim. It has said that the website had some technical problem. The issue is resolved now and the website is available in English and Hindi languages. Now, not just Stalin, Zoho CEO Sridhar Vembu recently weighed in on this language battle as well. He has advised people living in Bengaluru to learn Kannada, calling it disrespectful not to do so after years of residing in the city. Now, Wembu's comment, remember, came in response to a viral post featuring two men wearing T-shirts with Hindi national language printed on them. The caption read, "Perfect T-shirt for a Bangalore trip." On this, Wembu wrote, "If you make Bengaluru your home, you should learn Kannada and your kids should learn Kannada as well." To talk more on this and weigh in on this entire language tussle that keeps popping up time and again in this country, first of all, I'm joined by Harish Bijur. He's a brand guru. Harish Bijur, good evening. Namaskaram. Before I get into the politics of it and the political battle of this entire language debate, what do you make of it? What do you make of the fact that, there are people who come from across the country to southern states, especially in the IT sector, whether they should be learning Kannada or not, because the argument that is given is, we're there for a brief period of time, then we move to another city. What happens if we keep on learning different languages? How would that really, help? Perhaps we will not be able to learn a certain language in, say, 3 or 6 months or even a year sometimes.
Yeah, let me put it this way. I do believe, it's extremely important and critical for people who live in a city to understand and learn the local language. I'm saying two things: understand and to, learn the local language. Both are important because, if you don't understand the ground level reality in the language which the locals speak, I think you get disconnected with society. I would always encourage somebody in Bengaluru and somebody in Karnataka who's made it their home to actually learn Kannada and practice Kannada. Because, if you don't speak the local language, it means you haven't embraced the local milieu. You haven't embraced the local way of emoting and speaking. So I think it's a great thing to do. Now, there's this argument to say that, I am in 2 years in Hyderabad and 2 years in Bengaluru and 2 years in Tamil Nadu. Must I learn all the languages? I think it's a good thing to do, yeah. This my favorite thing to say, which I just tweeted out, is to say that, hey guys, Kannada is easier to learn than Phantom and C++. Hey, you guys are so good in learning all these languages. Kannada is but yet another language. Learn it, become a part of it, become a part of the local culture. And we are a very quilted culture, become a part of this quilted culture.
Harish Bijur, do you therefore think there's a certain bias also then, considering the fact that, there's this north-south tussle that keeps happening when it comes to the language war, and that perhaps, there is a certain hesitation in learning the language. There is no openness to, southern regional languages to be being learnt by people who are coming from all across the country.
Yes, there certainly is a division. There certainly is a divide. North of the Vindhyas and south of the Vindhyas. And the 5, 6, 7 languages that are spoken in the south of India, in particular, the dialects, different people speaking in different ways, adds to the multiplicity of it all. So there are languages which are very, very important, at least the state languages, they're important, the Kannada, the Tamil, the Malayalam and, Telugu, at least those. I'm really not even going into Konkani and Tulu. Particularly if you're living in Mangaluru, if you don't speak Konkani and Tulu, you tend to get disconnected. So language is a fun thing, guys. Don't fight it out. Don't divide. Unite on language. That's a great thing to do. So I'm totally with Sridhar Vembu. when he sparks the debate in terms of saying that, hey guys, if you live in a local area, learn the local area. And I'm totally with it. Yeah, I think, it's a good thing to do.
There are times, Harish Bijur, that a person is not very linguistically inclined. There are people who have a very tough time learning new languages. What do you say to them then? In their own language, sometimes they're trying hard to find words for this,
Yeah.
right words for the
Oops.
right moment.
There goes.
But a lot of people are not linguistically inclined. All right, I believe that connection with Harish Bijur has been disconnected. But we'll leave it there with Harish Bijur. Let me also get in my political guests on the show. Thank you very much, Mr. Bijur, for joining us. Let me get in Mohan Krishna, former media advisor to former Chief Minister Bommai, who's joining us on the broadcast. Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, has joined us. We're also joined by Salem Dharnidharan, spokesperson for the DMK. Good evening and namaskar to all of you. Salem Dharnidharan, let me begin with you. There's always this argument that's given that once you're living in a city, you should learn the language. But the other side gives the argument that then what connects us all? There has to be one language that connects us all. And if Hindi is the third largest speaking language in the world, what's the problem?
See, firstly, there are two issues to it. No, I think we have bundled two things together, but two separate issues. So, firstly, I'll tell you, like I've lived in 5 different countries, and apart from that, I also went to study in the north. So then I had to learn Hindi in 3 months. I did, and then I was in Germany, and it took me about 4 months to learn German. I was in France, and I picked up a bit of French. So right now I speak 5 languages, but apart from English and Tamil, I didn't learn any other language in school. Because I happened to live there, I picked it up. Right? Because I wanted to progress in my career, I also wanted to improve my social life there. Because if you know the local language, it's easier to progress. It's easier to network. It is easier to be imbibed in the culture of the place. That's one aspect. But the main issue here is India is a very, very unique country. It's the grandest experiment of pluralism in the world. Nowhere in the world have people of speaking so many different languages, people of different ethnicity, belonging to different religion, culture, come together. In fact, we have about 4 or 5 different language groups. Right? So there's nowhere in the world such diversity exists. So here you can't put one language
Yes.
and impose it on people speaking other language. The European Union, even European Union composed of 28 member countries, is not as diverse as India, I would say, because the ethnicity is nearly the same. The religion is nearly the same. But here
Okay.
it's much more plural, and even the language families in European Union is the same, Indo-Germanic, right? So even there, what do they do? Union Parliament, every country, right? Their language is represented in the Parliament. Every speech in the European Union is translated in 28. I mean, all the European Union languages, and all the bills are presented in that language, right? In their country, they speak their language. Let's say in Netherlands, they speak Dutch. In Germany, they speak
Sure.
German,
Okay.
Austria, German. Belgium,
Salem, let me
let
get
me complete.
Mohan Krishna into
But
this
to speak
debate.
among each other, I will make an important point. So
Yeah.
to speak among each other, they use English. So what I'm saying is, people who have Hindi as their mother tongue, let them speak Hindi in their home state. People who have Tamil as their mother tongue, let them speak Tamil in Tamil Nadu. Right? To speak among others, we have English. Right? English is the global language. Even for an IT job in Noida, in Uttar Pradesh, you need English. For IT job in Mumbai, you need to speak English. Same thing for finance jobs or for jobs in service sector or in many sectors in the white collar jobs, 99% sectors. English is now the language of the world. So as Aranya Ranna says,
Okay.
why do you need a big door
Salem,
for a big
the
big dog
argument that's given
small
against
dog, right?
English is that it's a colonial imposition. So there are lots of debates that can open up as far as English is
No. See,
concerned as
listen.
well. But let me get
English
in
is
Mohan
not just
Krishna
a
into this
language of
debate.
colonial
Mohan
imposition.
Krishna,
No.
I'll come to you, Salem. Mohan Krishna, you want to respond to
No.
what Salem is saying?
Very good evening, Shreya. Basically, each and every person has to have the flair to learn the languages. That should be the motto, irrespective of whether it is Hindi, English, or international languages or anything for that matter. And those who have got flair for languages will connect to the people more, and the communication will be from the heart, like, we say, apnapan dikhate hain. That's the first point I want to make it. Second point, see, why this a gap between South Indian languages and Hindi is far from so many years is because in Hindi we say Dilli dur hai. So the connectivity between South and North was very less. And the colonial issues and Britishers, they wanted to see that this division goes on, goes on, goes on. I will not go bigger into that. Coming to the point, what Mr. Wembo is saying, it's perfectly right. It's perfectly right. See, I speak six Indian languages. I speak six Indian languages. I speak Kannada, I speak Tamil, I speak Telugu, I speak Malayalam, I speak Hindi, I speak English, I speak Marathi, and all these languages. What is nothing wrong in that? See, when you go there, Marathi Macha, it is okay. But when it comes to Tamil Nadu, why they politically they are taking it? Because they want to see that, their colonial what people, Britishers have imposed on them, colonial imposition exactly, is continued in Tamil Nadu, and their hatred towards the languages, other languages, is very heavy. If you remember right, in Karnataka also we had a lot of issues, tussle between Tamil and Kannada about 20 years back, 15, 20 years back. There were a lot of clashes between Tamilians and Kannadigas here. There was such a occasion, Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, then the same DMK was in power, Karunanidhi, we made the statue of Sarvagna in Chennai and Tiruvalluvar statue in Karnataka, in Bangalore. By the harmony has been brought in. The languages see.
Okay. So there need to be concerted efforts, Mohan Krishna, for everybody to learn each other's languages, and no harm in that. Valid point. Syed Asad Abbas, you want to come in on that? What is your view on this entire, allegation that MK Stalin has made? And before that, of course, the Zoho CEO also said that one should learn the language of the place that they are working in or they're living in.
Be it MK Stalin or Sridhar Vembu, I've always believed with great power, there is great responsibility and equal accountability. The fact of the matter, Shreyaji, I come from this beautiful city of Bengaluru here in Karnataka state, and I get to meet people from various backgrounds. If you look at a country, every 100 kilometers, it changes. The talk, the language, the dialect, the culture, the tradition, the food, and various other factors. I feel as much as English, we call it a colonial British age language, it is a certain uniting force. Because many a times, why are we even having this debate in the language of English? As much as we might hate the colonial side of it, because it's the ease of communication. Shreyaji, I've always believed, from the background that I come from, the education qualification that I've had, in my university of Christ University, we had people from North coming, South coming, international students coming in. We never imposed any language to them. कि तुम हिंदी में ही बात करो, कन्नड़ದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು, ತಮಿಳ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಸಲೇದು. Never. If friends made conversation in Tamil, it's absolutely fine to pick up or two. I do understand that Mr. Sridhar Vembu is implying here in terms of ease of ability, communication, and accessibility. But the fact is, whenever, especially politicians, come to impose a certain language, it's absolutely not okay. You might have a reflective nature that a language, in terms of help for your better communication, could be. But making it a strict policy, trying to impose it, that no, you have to do it, it is mandatory, it is compulsory, no. I'll tell you, I have some wonderful artists, talented friends who have a brilliant spick of learning languages. They're great. And I'll tell you, myself, I'm not that great into learning languages. So what did I do? The fact of the matter that if you look at Bengaluru city, it is the startup hub of India. As a matter of fact, the largest IT sector that we have here. Many of our friends from North India do come here. But imposing on them Kannada, Matadi, and so on and so forth is not okay. Of course, they can definitely learn the language, make it
Okay.
easier and
You know,
better.
let me
But
get Selam Dhanidharan to respond to you, Syed
can I
Asad
just complete
Abbas.
my point,
Selam, you
ma'am?
want to
30
go ahead?
seconds.
You know, the fact
Can
that
I
you're...
just complete my point on that?
Yeah, sure. 30 seconds and then I go to Selam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shiraji, the fact is here, anything by force is absolutely not okay. Of course, there could be certain friendly discussions on that front, but making a strict policy at work or governance, so on and so forth, it's not going to be okay. Because we in India, there is no one bounding language that we need to be. That Hindi बात करना है हमारा national language है,
Sure.
official language है. No, we are diverse and diverse it shall be.
Okay. Okay. All right. Selam, you go ahead first and then Mohan Krishna ji, I'll come to you.
First and foremost, right, I'll tell you this. I'll have to reiterate the DMK stance. DMK is not against anyone learning Hindi. In fact, about 200, 300,000 people write Hindi exams each year in Tamil Nadu. The problem is we have against Hindi imposition. So we don't want any language to be imposed in Tamil Nadu. If people want to learn whatever language they want to learn, then they're more than welcome to learn. But Hindi cannot be imposed. Point number one. Point number two, why should we learn Hindi? Only 26% of this country's population have Hindi as their mother tongue. Point number one. And point number two, if you make that language, right, as a national language, assume hypothetically, if you make that language a national language, then all the Tamilians, the Kannadigas, and the Malayalis, and the Telugu-speaking people will be second-class citizens in the same country because the native speakers will anyways be better than us in the language. Can you imagine how can we compete with someone from Uttar Pradesh in Hindi, from Tamil Nadu or in Kerala, right? The natives can we compete? Average Indian compete with someone from in Britain in English? No. That is
But
why
Selam, help
in
me
English
understand,
also
why
should
is
be.
there a competition? Why are we competing with each other about who's better in which
No, I
language?
think
It's
no,
just
no, I'll tell
like
you this.
Syed said, it's a
No, no,
mode
no,
of
no, 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 no. It's
communication.
not no,
There
no,
is no
you're not getting the
competition
point.
between us.
No, there's no competition. See, I think you're trying to manipulate here. What I'm trying to say, if you make the language Hindi as a language
No,
of working in the
why will I
union ministry.
manipulate you? These are your words.
No.
You have
I'm
said
trying
that,
to say, no, 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 no. I'm
UP
trying to say
person
what
will
I'm
be
trying.
better
No, no,
in
let me
Hindi than a person from Tamil
no, let
Nadu.
me speak. No, let me speak. What
Why
I'm
is
trying to
there a
say.
comparison even?
There is no comparison. What I'm trying to say is, let's say if you make Hindi as a working language of the union government, our ability to write in Hindi will be much lower than someone from a Hindi speaking state, is what I'm trying to say, which is a fact because that is a native mother tongue. Can someone from UP speak Tamil better than us? Than an average? There could be exceptions, but as an average, no, they can't because that's not their mother tongue. That is the whole point. So, and Hindi cannot be there is no historical basis for Hindi to be the national language and for it to be imposed across people. Hindi in itself is very relatively new to this country. It's a borrowed language. It's as recent as 300 years, right? In fact, I can go and say clearly, researchers, Tamil is the most oldest language in the world. That's what
Selab,
the
so
clearly
is the
research says.
language of English,
Harappan,
which is a borrowed
Harappan Valley,
language.
this
Let me
Tamil
get
was
Syed
spoken.
Asad Abbas to respond to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Syed,
Yeah.
respond to, I'll come to you, Mohan Krishna ji. Respond to Selam Syed. Also the fact, that the LIC has responded saying that this was a technical problem. But if you go on their website, the first landing page, the first language that comes is Hindi. Why not have it as English at least, if not any other language?
Absolutely, I agree with you on that front. The fact of the matter is, LIC has accessibility a lot more percentage here in south of India as well. The fact of the matter, I think Salem made a very interesting point, which is, in terms of any examination to take over, or in terms of making a working language in a government, of course, those who are Hindi speaking belt would have a much better ability than somebody like me or Salem or Mohan Krishna ji, who might be very articulate in a Kannada, Tamil, or Telugu. The fact we need to understand also, a feedback to my dear friend Salem, is that when I was in the city of Chennai, I didn't really get a great response there when I spoke in a language like English. Until and unless didn't speak in Tamil, there was not much of a response I could do. The fact is, any Indian state, I think we need to let go of any kind of clutches on a language, look at the ease of accessibility, the ease of comprehension, understanding of the language, so that we are able to understand each other. Language is what? To comprehend what the other person is saying and accordingly react. But if we are going to have foundations of sorts, then no, this is our language. We will only respond to you when it is this language and not that language. I'm also absolutely not okay with the central government forming any Hindi imposition, be it in my state of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, anywhere. The fact is, state imposition of language, national imposition of language by the state or the center will not work in ease of ability. The fact when you put in a barrier in a working
Okay.
space, working environment, or any educational environment, it is not going to help. It is only going to create tougher and more complicated situations. The fact is, we need to understand that let us not
Okay.
impose any language and go ahead with ease of understanding and ability. You take one step, I take one step. Together, we can complete without any barrier because we are diverse and diverse we
Okay,
shall be
and it
without
goes
any
both
strict
ways.
language.
It goes both ways. The imposition shouldn't happen either way. But let me get in Mohan Krishna. Mohan Krishna, you wanted to make a point. Please go ahead.
See, I'm okay with the language, any language. Say when I used to travel to Chennai, the same experience I had initially. After I learned the language, it is very easy for me, and I have thousands of friends in Tamil Nadu also today. Coming to the point why Tamil Nadu is headed towards Hindi, it is a hatredness, I'm telling you. Absolutely. There is no this thing. There is no imposition of Hindi in India anywhere. Another important point factor I want to just put it across to you. The literacy level, the basic literacy level in southern part of India is very high. We have touched almost to the level of 100%. If you take North India and Central India or somewhere, Eastern India also, the literacy level is not up to the mark yet. Their language, see, three parts of North, East, South, West. In this South is acceptable. We are very far from these cities, and the people now, after globalization, people have started coming to each and every city, and urbanization, because of that, for jobs and everything, people are coming to going to each and every state, and they are living there and they are doing their livelihoods. Now, coming to the point of why this, supposing if I go to Odisha, if I don't understand Odisha,
Yes.
Odia language, then what will happen? I will not get connected to them. I'll give a simple example. We had a senior IAS officer, Mr. Chiranjeevi Singh, I should remember him. He was the Kannada and Culture
Ji.
Secretary, Principal Secretary, do you know? He is from Punjab. He had learnt such a beautiful Kannada. Now, not even we can speak. Professor Nisar Ahmad and all those people, they used to, accolade him. There is nothing wrong. There is no hatredness.
Okay.
And second important point I would like to make it. We are competing in the world today. This kind of, mental barriers, saying that I will not learn that language, I'll speak in my language, is not going to help. We have to grow. India have to become a superpower. We have to have the big heart of acceptance. Acceptance should be there. Then only you can grow. Once you grow.
Sure. I think it's going to help us all, Mohan Krishna, if we are open to each other's linguistic diversity. Yeah. I have to wrap this up. I have paucity of time. But I think, as I was saying, it will help all of us. I'm sorry, gentlemen, I have paucity of time. I have to wrap this up. It's going to help all of us if we take pride and be open to the kind of diversity we have in this country. And as I started this show by saying there's unity in diversity and we take pride in it. And it'll only help us if we follow that path and actually implement it in our daily lives. But thank you very much to all of you, gentlemen, Mohan Krishna, Syed Abbas and Selam Dhanidharan, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your perspectives. With that, viewers, it's a wrap on this broadcast. News and updates continue on Mirror Now. Thank you very much for joining us at the moment.